Stop making so much noise. We're trying to do an interview. Loudest thing in the world. Tell everyone to whisper too. Alrighty, bye. Bye.
I'm Brian Turner. I'm the farm manager. I handle all the production of the hay around here and planting the crops and kind of the farm side of it.
He puts out the really big fires. When something breaks or we don't know what to do, it's call Brian. Like he's motto. He takes care of everything. He keeps this place wouldn't run without Brian. I'm Trevor Bales. I handle the logistics and the freight side of the operation. And when we're low on employees, I will jump in and operate equipment as well. So I spend a lot of time on social media instead of working, and I goof off, and I post up a lot of pictures of really pretty hay, but we're just like every other farmer, and we make ugly hay. And I made a video, and I said, look, we make ugly hay, but it sure would be nice if Staheli West would come out and bring us a steamer. And this was before I even knew a small bale steamer existed. And about 3 days later, I get a phone call from a number I don't recognize. I answer it, and it's Staheli West, we want to bring you a steamer. And now, like I said earlier, the challenge was when it's growing, it's beautiful. You get it in the windrow and you bale it, and it's windy and it's dry, and it's just big stems everywhere. You don't see any leaf. Now, the same hay, but you add steam, might be big stem, but it's full of leaf. And that's what we need. The leaf is where the value of the feed is. All that, now we have leafy hay.
The season we had this year started out pretty normal. It was hot and dry early. We were using the steamers a lot, and then the last week of July, the monsoons moved in about 2 weeks early, and we had more rain than we've had in years. So it really made a difficult harvest season. We got behind. We probably lost 1.5 cuttings over the whole monsoon season, which has made our supplies tight everywhere across the state.
We're racing storms, where there are storms coming in, and they knew we had to be out of the field by 5 o'clock in the evening. Either wind is rolling in or rain's coming in, we got to get it out. So there are some days they were baling until 11, 12 o'clock,
Yeah.
which if we did not have steamers, it would have made green toothpicks. We are in the retail hay business. We sell hay to people that they're not a dairy. The customer feeds their horse every single day. They feed their goat every single day. They feed their kid every single day a flake or two of hay. And they see the leaf. And so it is extremely important for us to have leafy hay, because our user sees it every morning, sometimes in the evenings. And this steamer is a great way, is the best way so far for us to keep that leaf retention to where our customers see leaf in the food that they are giving their pet, their family member, the animals that they love, the best feed that they can possibly give them. And by having that leaf in that flake, in that nice packaged flake, has been great for us. It's definitely improved the product that we can give our customers.
I fed a little bit of it myself, and what I really liked was it flakes better. The flakes stick together, and when you pull a flake off, not half of the leaf falls on the ground. It all stays stuck together. Throw it to your horse, and it all goes in the feeder instead of on the ground. So that, to me, that was a big improvement over even hay that was put up with good moisture naturally, still tended to drop more leaf on the ground when you flaked it off versus the steamed hay. We were one of the ones that got one of the first rounds of the Dewpoint 331 small bale steamers. And so it was a learning curve for all of us. There's probably half a dozen of us in the area that were running them. We were communicating with each other daily, learning off of each other, what problems, how to solve them, how to handle different issues. We learned you need a better quality tractor on there, where you can put these CVT and IVT transmissions so that you can get that speed dialed in exactly where it needs to be, because that affects the moisture and the weight of the belt. Also, whereas the old standard transmission tractors, you don't have that ability. So there is some other costs that are related to it in upgrading your other equipment, but in the long run, that's what it takes to make it all work. It's learning a balance between it all. But once you get it dialed in, it really makes it easier to make nice hay. You got to have a guy out there that cares what he's doing, is willing to learn the technology and how to run it. Early on, we did have some issues with the steamers, but you guys have done a good job of settling those through the season. Went from the butterflies when they came in the middle of the summer, plugging stuff up. We were able to put some screens on the machines, and that helped that. And I know you guys are incorporating that into your new production. Probably the biggest issue was with the pilot and the ignition system. And about two-thirds of the way through the summer, you guys changed those out for a new system, and that problem went away, which was a big relief. As far as dealing with the issues, you guys were on top of it between you and Stokes, getting mechanics out here. Those of us that were running were communicating almost on a daily basis, what's working, what's not. But Staheli West did a great job of getting on, tackling the issues, solving them as fast as we could. And so a few times Dave Staheli's called, we've talked about ideas. And
You've talked to Dave Staheli? Did he ask about me?
Not once. Early on in the season, we had some smaller insects that were getting in there and just coating everything up. So we even talked about different screen sizes, trying to prohibit that from happening, even though they didn't seem to cause near the problem of the butterflies, but they were still causing other issues within that whole burner system.
Yeah, the main goal with the steamers is to change that very dry, shattery hay that's a number 3 and number 4 quality, to bring it all up to number 2 and number 1. When the wind is blowing at night, and it's hot, there's only so much a steamer can do. It's not a cure-all, it's not a guarantee that you're gonna have number 1 hay, but it can take a number 3 quality and definitely, or number 4, and definitely turn it to a number 2. Racing these storms, baling mid-morning when we normally don't want to, we're able to turn a number 4 to a number 3 quality to a good number 2.
Usually it's about a $20 hit between grades. So that was part of our figures when we were trying to justify if we could afford the steamer, was if we could raise all of our hay or half of our hay up 1 grade at say $20 a ton, that's going to go a long way in helping to pay not just the labor savings, but because we figure it's going to take 2 or 3 different areas, and a big one was improving the quality of the hay so we could sell it for more. Is probably going to go farther to paying for the cost of the steamer than anything else we could do.
I determine the quality of all the hay, and I put it in the barns, and I determine where that hay is going to be stored. I have very, very little number 3 quality hay this year. And even I have a barn full of rained-on hay that they let dry out and steamed it, and it is full of leaf. It's beautiful.
The other thing we learned, not just making better quality hay with the steam, we had to change our operation some. We used to wait and rake the day before that we would, or the same rake in the morning and bale that night. Well, sometimes if you happen to have a dry day or the wind was blowing, then you couldn't, or if you raked it that morning, it was already too dry and you knocked the leaves off with the rake, and therefore the steamer didn't have a chance to do its job. So during the really dry part of the season, we were raking a day earlier when it was still softer and green, not giving it a chance to get that dry where when we raked it, we'd knock the leaves off, and then your chances of making good hay were shot before you could even get the steamer onto it. So that was a big learning curve there, just kind of making a big change in our operation as to when we were raking the hay.
what are you battling every day? Are you battling weather? Are you battling employment? Dryness? A lot of places are plenty cool, but they're very dry, like Nevada, Colorado, Utah. What you're fighting, I think, is the biggest thing of what you're up against every day, and can that steamer help you fight those things? Because with our weather, it really helped with our dry, windy temperatures and the employment issues. So those areas, it helped us a lot.
We've already ordered a third steamer for next year for a few reasons. One, we're trying to pick up some more acreage. We want to be able to get through our acreage faster, cut more acres a day. A few different reasons, but hopefully the main one would be to pick up some extra acreage and still be able to get around in a reasonable amount of time.
I mean, we liked them enough that we ordered a third one. So yeah, we've liked them, yeah. I'm Trevor Bales, this is Brian Turner. We're here at Bales Hay Sales. We've had the Staheli West steamers now for 5 months, and we love them. We love the product that it produces.